Yo, welcome everybody. uh FAB League Week 2, Season 2, Game 4 for us. Yeah. Um it's been a pretty neat week. Currently we're up 2-1 against Team Kitchen Fable. Josh ended up winning the Bolton Mirror, and then Sebastian won Chain versus Prism. And then Nam actually ended up losing to Viserai. So right now,
Here we are.
Here we are. Right now we have Nathan playing Viserai, and I'm really bad with names, so I apologize to the player. We have a player from Team Kitchen Fable playing Starvo. Now,
I think they said his name is Heath.
Is it Heath? Okay, so we have Heath playing.
I think that's what they said his name is.
I'll go look on Discord real quick, just to make sure. I don't want to disrespect anybody that's playing. I'm really awful at names too. So
Heath, yeah, Heath.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep,
So we have there it is. So we got Heath Scheiman playing Starvo.
This is your classic CC matchup right now.
Yeah. For sure.
These, in my opinion, these are the two best decks.
For certain. And what's really cool is most of the time Nathan actually has quite a good match against Bravo. He kind of knows what he's doing, so looking really forward to this match and kind of see where we go from here. We're gonna go ahead and let them know. Go ahead and start.
Type in the chat. You got it?
What decks have we not seen out of Kitchen Fable?
So we were just talking about that. We have seen Prism, Bolton, now Starvo, and I believe Viserai.
Yep.
So we've seen the big three, which is Prism, Starvo, and Viserai.
Yep.
And then Bolton, because they have Jimmy Lee, and
we have
he
Josh.
loves Bolton, and we have Josh. So we both played Bolton there. So that leaves my match after this one, either Chain, Briar, or Oldham are the three that I'm thinking that are part of the big meta at the moment. Yeah. Which is kind of scary, but
it is. You're not wrong there.
So there's lots of good decks to be had. But anyway, this matchup is one that you will see plenty throughout CC. It's not a very exciting matchup until Viserai gets close to comboing.
Yeah.
Yep. And so we'll just see
if it can't even get
almost
there,
certainly. Yeah, almost certainly. Is that a Hope Merchant's Hood?
We have a Hope Merchant's Hood and a Snapdragon Scalers.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that
if I remember correctly,
this might end up being an aggro match.
If I remember correctly, I want to say Nathan said he was scouting his opponent just to see what he did. Apparently he was playing like Scar for a Star and some other stuff, and so I'm not really sure what the game plan is. This is actually very exciting to see what we're about to witness, because you have Hope Merchant's Hood, which, if people don't know, this card's awesome. One of my favorite cards in the game. It's an instant, and you can shuffle in any amount of cards from your hand and draw that many. And obviously Snapdragon, we all know what that is. So you see Nathan starting off with a Wisp of the Oracle turn 1. Decide to put one on top, put one on bottom.
Any rune chant generation goes on top. Anything that doesn't goes on the bottom.
Exactly. We are prioritizing rune chants. Looks like he's
getting a Rattle Bones to the bottom, which is great.
He's thinning, making a rune chant, and he also, and that means just he's got an attack in his hand, but it also just might be a blue. So just making one, not a super exciting turn for Nathan, but getting to kind of sculpt what he can draw is pretty neat. I'm just super excited to see what we're gonna see out of Bravo here. Alex, also, if you can check your messages real quick.
All right. So
Art of War. Starting off with an Art of War. Wow.
So just like we were talking about, this is probably going to be a more aggro a more aggro Starvo. Hope Merchant's Hood, the ability that Hope Merchant's Hood brings to Starvo, in my opinion, is not incredibly powerful for the strategy that they're trying to implement, because the block is really, really important. But the Snapdragon Scalers is that's something interesting. Not really sure what to think about that, but obviously, like you're seeing here, I see a yellow Shock Striker, I believe it is, which is something you don't normally see. Enlightened Strike, you know, another good card that you don't normally see. Pairs really well with Snapdragon Scalers. Looked like he chose +1, Banish Draw 2 on the Art of War. And Nathan giving him a Rattlebones and a Swarming, which is not the best. Looks like he's taken 2 here, was not Frostbitten, so no Frostbites to worry about, just making a few Rune Chants passing the turn. Pretty much right where he wants to be, just walk out, make some Rune Chants. He's going to be trying to figure out what his opponent's doing here, but typically in Starvo matches, even in any aggro match that Viserai plays into, a lot of times the game plan is still to block and try to OTK. So even if the Starvo switches over to this different kind of aggro deck, more so than the dominate casino style, I don't think that it's really going to matter that much to Nathan's game plan. I think he's probably going to try to keep the same game plan. But we will see. Second Art of War, second hand. That is a yellow Flock of the Featherwalkers. There is no telling what's coming out of this deck next. Looks like an Oakenold's going into the Banish, which is Nathan's very happy to see that. If Starvo's plan here is just to attack in a linear game plan, I'm sure Nathan's actually going to be very happy to see that, because it's much easier for him to block than an 11 dominated Oakenold. So we're going to go ahead and pop the Hope Merchant's Hood. This is a really early pop. Looks like the Art of War probably chose Go again, since he didn't put a counter on it this time. Still has a resource floating. He's going to draw 3 cards here. That will be the only time he gets to use that throughout the game, so the headpiece is gone. So we'll have to keep that in mind when, if Nathan ever gets to the combo, the extra block that the Arcanite Skullcap adds to the game, or whatever other headpiece that he chooses to play, is going to matter. I mean, it really just gonna matter. The not playing Chronoseeds though, I don't know. Like, because usually in an aggro style, the reason I'm mentioning Skullcap is because in an aggro game, the Skullcap can be really important for blocking and keeping your hand. But as we know in Starvo, the Chronoseeds is just, I mean, it's unbelievably good, especially with Tunic. And that's one of the main draws to play the game, or play the card. So Nathan with some unoptimal blocks here. That's 2 Swarmings that are going to be in his graveyard, and a Rattlebones that's in his graveyard. So he's not drawing exactly what he wants at the moment. Couple of Rune Chant generation cards, just the yellow Read the Runes, and he was able to pitch some good cards earlier, which is nice. Blocking with an Oath of the Arcanite means he's probably got a non-attack action card left in his hand, which he's probably just going to give to his opponent here. That's a Razor Reflex, which is something. So basically, this is a Briar deck and a Bravo shell, or a Briar shell and a Bravo deck, however you want to say that. But him surviving 2 Art of War turns, his opponent not having an arsenal, and then also still being at 33 life is really good for Nathan, in my opinion. And having burned through the Hope Merchant set already, so there's not a lot of surprises to come. His opponent, I'm assuming, is just going to keep attacking with these small attacks, whatever he can. Nathan's going to need some Rune Chant generation, or an ability to, really block some damage with something else. That Awakening, yeah, that's not going to do a whole lot. Just coming in with the Hammer here, which is really suspect out of a deck that plays a lot of 0 and 1 costed attacks. I would assume Razor Reflex can't hit a Winter's Wail, so I would assume just like a Pummel or something, but I don't see any play out of the Starvo here, so I'm not really entirely sure what that means for what's in his hand. Maybe he just had some defense reactions or something. Not really sure. But Nathan here, keeping a full hand and taking that hammer means that he's definitely got something to do here. Gonna get a meet and greet there. Put that in the hand. Deal 1 arcane damage to his opponent. Which now Nathan has a choice to make because he's only at 3 rune chance, so he's not going to mess up any big plans that he's made. But since his opponent took that damage, the meet and greet actually has go again. So it'll depend on what his hand is here as to how he plays this out. Looks like he's just going to go for the keeping on the rune chant generation plan. That's going to make 1, represent a few more throughout the turn, and then 3 more from the yellow wreath runes there.
You know, I feel like something that he's doing here is gonna do some sort of like semi OTK, like I think he calls it like the open-minded OTK, where he just pops off at like 14 rune chance, and since he kind of knows what his opponent's doing here, he's liable to just do it, like be able to do it at such a smaller life total. I mean, you see he's playing red and yellow Flock of the Featherwalkers.
Yeah, he's just playing a bunch of odd cards, and I haven't hardly seen any ice cards out of him yet, which means that his fuse rate is probably almost non-existent.
Especially with all the generic cards you're seeing, like the Ravenous Rabble and the Scar for Scar and the Flocks.
Yeah, it looks like he just took out all the ice cards for a bunch of generic attacks, is what it looks like to me.
Yeah. That's the third Rattle
Bones. That's another Rattle Bones, which is really rough. So he's gonna really prioritize trying to kill this Starvo on combo. There's the Razor.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
This is a 7 damage flock.
Double Razor Reflex.
This is now a 10 damage flock.
Huh.
Which he's blocking 7. No, he's blocking 8 at the moment.
He perfect blocked 8, or he blocked 8 so he didn't lose the Razor, and then he had the double Razor.
I mean, even getting the double Razor out, he's going to be happy with that result.
Yeah,
he's going to be very happy with that result, because now he's got 1 Razor left in the deck that he has to worry about. And
possibly, he might play yellow ones. You never know.
Yeah, there's no telling what's going on in this deck. 10 rune chance. It's very good for him.
You're almost there, right? Like you're. Depending on...
Not quite, especially against Starvo.
You want like 15, 16. So like you're at 12 after the incantation.
If he has Mordred, he can go somewhere in the 13 to 15 range.
Yeah.
If he does not have Mordred, he wants to be somewhere upwards of 16 to 20. 18 to 20 is optimal. If he has to go early, then he can go in the 16 to 18 range.
Got a Polar Blast coming out. He's playing the Heaven's Claws with go again for 4.
Yep.
Yeah, yellow Heaven's Claws. I saw he was playing a lot of different yellow things. He's playing like a yellow Shock Striker, yellow Autumn's Touches, So.
Yep, just a bunch of just lower costed cards.
And then
keeping the curve low.
So he's gonna have go again. Wow.
Red Lightning Surge, that's good. That means that he could have a blue in hand to pitch for Hammer and Arsenal. That Red Lightning Surge, that would be a
very good
solid play.
Yeah.
Yep, be a solid play. Dang. He shuffled back up and drew the 3rd Rattle Bones.
Yeah, he did.
So we're not going to see a Rattle Bones cast this game. Yep.
Nope.
So that means he's definitely going to prioritize trying to kill on the combo. Which looks like it looks like
very unorthodox. I like it though. It's neat. It's definitely a freaking curveball for sure.
It's a curveball. We'll see if it's enough.
I mean,
my first opinions is that it's probably not going to be enough, because of Viserai just likes to play against decks that play this game style. It just likes to block and not lose much life and make a bunch of rune chants and kill them.
Yeah.
So he's not threatening Nathan's hand at all, which is good for Nathan. The go-agains and everything, like Katsu is one of Viserai's best matchups because it just blocks and never gets its hit effects.
What was
now Starvo's
Nathan's
just playing,
turn, by the way? I was reading chat.
It was Mordred Red Reed.
Oh, insane. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so he's at 17 rune chance, a hypothetical 18 or theoretical 18 with the Runeblade incantation still on the board. So
this
now
would be
he's
the
just
turn.
prioritizing getting to combo, getting a non-attack action with the Sonata, and surviving until then. And he should have this in the bag as long as the Sonata doesn't hard whiff, depending on if he's playing the red unmovables, which we have not seen yet. So,
And there we go.
which there's one. Okay.
Yep.
Because more of those he can get out of the deck, the better off he'll be.
That's also
Wait.
facts.
He must have done that for. Oh, he did it for 5 go again.
Coax a commotion.
Yeah, this is literally just a Briar deck inside of a Starvo shell. Yep, all it is.
It's Briar with Stalagmite and Hammer.
Yep.
That's not bad. It looks like he's playing like a minimal-ish ice count.
Yeah, I've not seen very many ice count at all.
Yeah.
I think I've seen Polar Blast, so that's about it. Which means that like doing that just sacrifices so much, right? Because, like, I don't know. Nathan doesn't want this hit trigger to hit. He doesn't want to give his opponent a Quicken token because he knows that he's not going to get use out of his Quicken token for a long time. Which honestly is so close to the combo that the Quicken token might actually have been a problem. Well, so.
Yeah,
but Snapdragons is the big problem there. He doesn't want to have him draw a card, snap, and
if he draws like a full-on red hand, and he has the Quicken and he has the snap, like it's just he can present what, like probably upwards to 20 damage in the turn.
Oh yeah.
But like, and obviously Nathan doesn't want that even with his equipment. So
a card we haven't seen out of the Bravo yet, which I'm surprised, is Channel Mount Heroic with the way he's playing. It very, very much makes me think that he's got Channel Mount in his deck, but we haven't seen it, and that's a good thing for Nathan because that card is a problem.
That card is a large issue.
Yes. So that is very good that we have not seen that yet. Here's just a casual
snatch
with Snapdragon Scaler sitting there on the board. Still one Razor Reflex left in the deck. Can't imagine what this would be. Could be a Lightning Press. Also, he does have the ability to play Lightning Press. Yep. So Nathan's definitely going to be thinking hard about this. If I was him, I would probably put 2 cards in front of this, just force him to use the snaps, but then you kind of put yourself into a situation where he's got 3 cards left, and so, or 3 cards and an arsenal technically, so it could get bad. It could get bad real quick here. He might even just put 1 card in and say, have the snaps and draw a card, and then I'll just block the rest of your attacks. Because Nathan's been sitting on this arsenal, so I'm pretty sure it's Sonata, and he's just waiting to have a hand where he's got non-attack action, plus maybe a little bit extra rune chant generation. And I think he's only... Yeah, okay, so he's probably going to get ready to go for it here.
Yeah, it looks like he's just like, all right, freaking...
Yep.
He doesn't even have the Razor at that point. I mean, that tells me he doesn't have it.
Yep, he knew the snaps was coming here. It's not exactly a rocket science to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Which also means that I think his opponent's hand is not good.
And he has...
this reduce is really good. This reduce is very, very good.
Yeah.
Especially if he's able to combo here now that he's at 19.
I think he just has to right now, right?
He doesn't have to. No, he's still got 20 life. He can wait as long as he wants right now. I don't think it's any issue. He could sit here for another turn or so, but I don't think he will, just because his opponent, just look at his opponent's armor block. It's nothing like what you're used to playing against. He's gonna have Stalagmite and Crater Fist to block whatever the 4 attack is, and he's just gonna go. But Nathan's probably gonna be doing a deck count right now for his ratios, trying to figure out if it's safe to go right now. Nathan's very adamant about.
Oh, he's doing it. He don't even care at this point. He's doing it.
Yep.
Mordred Sonata. Just the Sonata.
So he's got 19 right now, which means that he's probably going to pay into it. Yeah, he likes to do that.
He's going to search 13. Or reveal 13 here.
Let's see. Yeah, 9 plus 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13. We'll see. I think the average hit would be 4 on a 13.
I would say 4.
Because 6 is a perfect split. So 4 is probably going to be...
He's probably got a couple reduces and like the immovable still in his deck, right?
Swarming's really good. A blue card's good. We definitely need another. Okay, meet and greet.
Really
that kind of
good.
saves. The meet and greet saved the day there.
Yeah.
So we got the 4.
Yep. Good call. Good call. So he's going to be taking 4 arcane. He's already at 39 as well. So that's a big factor too.
The 1 extra life is going to matter for sure.
You good, Nathan? What you doing? and also on top of that too, now Heath does know that he doesn't have another Mordred for the non-attack to go into the spellbound, so he knows like he's got just a flat amount of damage coming in instead of like extra nonsense.
Yeah.
So what did he get again? He got
he got a
amplify.
Red. Yeah, he got 2 blues and a red amplify, or sorry, a meet and greet and a swarming are the 2 go again card. Are the 2 go again cards?
Swarming's key here.
Yeah, especially against the stalagmite, swarming is the best card that you can have.
Yeah, for sure.
Being 0 cost is just fantastic.
And since he got 2 blues,
life,
it just doesn't matter at this point, right? Like,
yeah, Blizzard and all that are off the table. His opponent's probably not even playing Blizzard.
The Stalagmite's just not impactful at this point either, just depending on what his entire hand is, because we have 2 unknowns, right? So it makes me think that he's already got a non-attack in his hand to be able to have the go again.
Yeah.
And thinking about like what he's blocked with already, it looks like he's either got a Maverin or a Sonata or an Oath. Those would be the 3 that I would assume that's going to come out of the Creeper's ability.
Yeah, my guess is a Mavsky's. That would be my guess.
Mavsky's would definitely be very good for Nathan here. All right, but if you give me just a moment, I'll be right back too.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
So he took the 4 arcane, means at 35 life to 19. The rune chants are really gonna be punishing with the version of the deck that his opponent is playing. Doesn't play nearly as many blues, it looks like. Become the Arknight. That's gonna be really neat. Probably gonna go get. I think there's 1 swarming left in the deck. Probably not. Probably just gonna go get the 9th blade, because the 9th blade is gonna really punish those 2 blocks in his opponent's deck. Or red meet and greet. Yeah, that's also fine. Just wanted a 3rd go again. Also creates another rune chant, which puts him to 20. Red meet and greet here. He's already taken arcane damage, so this has go again. This is representing 24 damage. On hit, it will create another rune chant. His opponent does not have a whole lot of blues in his deck, so these rune chants are probably just going to be hitting. Don't think his opponent will try too hard to stop that. This frostbite here is going to be pretty irrelevant with Nathan still having 2 resources up, a swarming and a meet and greet in hand. So yeah, he took the 20 rune chance down to 15, blocked that, or we still have 1 resource left after the frostbite goes away. Try to put my little mouse over the frostbite to remind them to get rid of that frostbite. Looks like he took the damage off of the swarming and the rune chants, which means that his opponent cannot stop rune chants the rest of this turn. So however much arcane damage that Nathan can represent is going to be very key. He also still has creepers, so I guess he pitched a red read the runes, so I don't think we're seeing any creepers play, which is why he searched for another go again card. Wow, so all he does to do is pitch to make a rune chant and the sword kills him. I think he might have miscalculated there on that block. He was going to have to block. So 5 damage is going to come through here, arcane, and it's unpreventable, which should put him to 0. I think he might have forgotten that he had 2 blues in his hand. And the grasp of the Arknight trigger. Yep, I think that's game. I think that is a misstep on Heath's part. He was trying to keep his entire hand, which I don't think is where you want to be. You just got to stop the combo, stop the key things from hitting. He's got to block that meet and greet. He's got to block that swarming. Just take the turn off. Try to play a fair game after that, because you know that his opponent doesn't have the rattle bones left. I think that was just a misstep on Heath's part. Let's try to get Nathan in here.
Yeah, let's get Nathan in here. That was well played on his part with that combo.
Hopefully he joins here in just a second. But yeah,
Sure
that's a pretty atypical Starvo Viserai mirror match, as you guys could see. That was basically Briar versus Viserai match.
Yeah.
Which not getting to utilize Briar's really powerful abilities, like the lightning quicken token, and the +1 defense when you hit. It could have punished him a little bit there. I think Briar, the ability from Starvo did absolutely nothing for him there. It really didn't seem to matter that he was playing Starvo at all.
Yeah. For sure.
So I don't really understand the reasoning behind it. But here's Nathan. Maybe he can give us a little bit more insight on that. It looks like your opponent made a big misstep there at the end and forgot you had enough to make a rune chant to kill him. Was trying to be a little greedy and keep his hand, not block the swarming.
No, he halfway through the match, so basically what happened with the equipment when he didn't have the null rune, he imported a list that for some reason just didn't have his Heart of Ice in there. So he had no arcane barrier. So basically when we drew our first hand, he was like, all right, man, GG, I got no arcane barrier.
Oh.
And yeah, so the whole game he was kind of like, just like whatever. Because, there's no way that you win that if you don't have any arcane barrier. Like,
that's super unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were trying to figure out what was going on. We didn't really. We was like, okay, maybe he just got some spicy like Briar / Starvo list that we haven't seen or that he's testing out or something.
Yeah.
Maybe he's trying to go fast into you, which we already knew really isn't the best idea anyway, unless you're playing Channel Mount Heroic, which we weren't sure if he was playing because we never got to see one. But he wasn't playing very many ice cards, which also felt really bad because he couldn't threaten frostbites on you with the hammer and
right.
very, very often, and was literally never fused because his deck doesn't want to do that. So seemed like a pretty straightforward match for you there, except for one decision you had to make at the end there with the combo with the Become the Arc Knight, just to grab another combo piece because you didn't have something for the creepers after you used it, so you just grabbed a third Go Again card to make sure you could go wide.
Yeah, I usually have a rule of never using Become the Arc Knight for creepers, because it's just too resource intensive, right? You're
very expensive. Yep.
Yeah, you're deleting a card from your hand, you're using a pitch, and just to search one card to get the Go Again.
Super taxing.
Right, and so that's usually a golden rule that I have. So I was like, I just did the math, and I was like, okay, this will get him down to like at least like 10 if he uses every card in his hand to block. And I was like, if I'm at 20 and I just do arcane damage, like I just there's no way I lose that game.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that's all I did. And
I think if you creepers in the red read the runes, it probably did about the same amount of damage, right? Because it would represent 4 more arcane damage that he can't prevent.
Yeah, probably. Yep. It just one, I guess, threatened an on-hit effect as well.
Yep.